Hello, everyone. Welcome here. Today, we're going to play some Zoo Tycoon 1. Eventually. Usually I have the games up and running already when we start stream, but I like watching the old emulated PC boot too much for that. Actually emulates old school post beep? Yes, it does. I don't remember which emulator I'm using. 86 box, I think it is. I think it's 86 box. Yeah, it's a proper emulator. So, as far as the operating system on here knows, it's running on a Pentium 2 with, what is it, 128 megabytes of RAM? Something like that. 450 megahertz. So, the software it's running is an actual dumped BIOS for the emulated motherboard I picked, all that stuff. It's properly authentic, which is very cool. And honestly, I could care less about most of it, except that it's A, cool, and B, makes it much easier to run this particular game. But I couldn't get this to run through Wine. Anyway, Endangered Species Zoo. Exhibit suitability rating of at least 70 for 12 exhibits. Zoo rating of 70, that's trivial. Both of these are trivial. Average guest happiness rating of 93, this is very far from trivial. Average animal happiness rating of 900, or 90, I mean. At least one baby black leopard, one okapi, one white Bengal tiger. Baby, specifically. So this won't be too difficult. We'll start off building whatever exhibits we can build. But we must focus on guest happiness from the very beginning. And then we can't count on them making any money during the last like 6 months or so. Because we'll probably have to crank zoo admission up to maximum and just kick people out of the zoo to get our happiness up. So 12 exhibits, notably not 12 different animals, 12 exhibits. So worst case, we can just build 10 identical lion exhibits, which are relatively cheap. And that would be that. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the grid on. We've got some basic starting exhibits, a black bear and a moose. We've got some beginning shit that I honestly do not want. Actively do not want. So we are going to literally sell everything, including the bear and the moose. Neither of these exhibits are suitable for the animals that are in them. And then we're going to bulldoze the entire zoo. Anyway, hello, survey. And that gets us about 90,000 monies to start with, as well as a starting zookeeper. Okay. It looks like we have a mix of salt and fresh water in this little river. That's fine, I suppose. Okay, first things first. We want endangered animals first. We'll start that at 66% max. We're going to need to do animal houses as soon as we're done with the endangered animals we need. Additionally, I don't think we need animal enrichment. Staff education and animal care will probably be worth grabbing, but we'll put that in a minimum funding for now. Okay. Now, we must keep guest happiness up. It doesn't have to be up right away, but it's going to have to be up soon. And we need to build 12 exhibits, which is not an inconsiderable amount. Okay. So let me think. Well, first of all, let's take a look at what Ye Old Strategy Guide says about this mission. It doesn't usually give very detailed information about them, unfortunately. But we might get a few hints and tips. Let's see. All right, here's the one we just finished. This is the first really challenging scenario. Yeah, thanks, game. Or guide, I guess. Scenario tends to be easier than saving the great cats. Well, yeah, except the guest happiness part. Should sell the animals, bulldoze everything. Already did that. Except perhaps the animal theater. Whoops. Given the first emergency financial donation, which is 10K. You should have 100,000 starting cash, which we do. Okay. The only real problem lies in achieving the average guest happiness required to win. Wow. Who could have possibly known that ahead of time? Okay. Toward the end of the scenario, you may have to institute drastic hikes in admission price in order to cut number of guests in your zoo. Wow, who could have seen that coming? Okay, well, so far we're not really getting much information here. Yeah. Given maximum funding, it takes only 7 days to complete the White Bengal Tiger program. You can immediately build an exhibit for this species. As we begin attracting zoo guests, build paths. Okay. So they suggest two plans. One is just do it like normal. And the other is wait until you have your first endangered species and start with that. Neither of them is particularly earth-shatteringly interesting. According to this, we should have no money problems. I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. I'm not going to do what they say or what they suggested. We will not be starting with a white Bengal tiger exhibit. We are going to instead start with a lion exhibit. First though, let me think about how I want to lay this all out. Let's use cheap fences for now. Okay. So I kind of want to do, we're just placing that as a marker. I want to do a row of 10 deep exhibits along the wall. And then we'll make them as wide as we need to fit whatever animals we want. We're not going to quite do minimum size exhibits because those are pretty small. If we end up with money trouble, then we might. But this tells me where we need to put in our paths. Okay, so viewing area would be right here. And that means that assuming I want one space between the viewing area and the main path will go right here. And I want 3 wide main paths. Okay. Now, additionally, I do want to leave space for a fountain right here. I'm not going to build it yet. Okay, that's a 4x4. So this is a 3x3 fountain. That will go right there. Or here. It doesn't have to be quite centered. Matter of fact, it just straight up isn't going to be centered. Because I want the path to come off the corner there. And then we'll probably put another path off this corner. Maybe, or off this corner, depending on how I work that out later. But this is the main direction the path's going to go. And then I am going to go ahead and build the restaurant immediately. And I'm going to set it back from the path by 1 tile. So we have plenty of room around it for decoration. And similarly, let's get this guy's fat ass out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and put in a set of attractions, all of them back 1 tile from the main road. All right. Now, lions. Lions need 60 tiles for 3 animals. I think we're going to do 80. Because that'd be 4 animals before it becomes a problem. So if we do this, boom. That gives us the lion pen. Move the gate to there. All right. That's wrong. Okay, there we go. There's the viewing area. A little bit of space to put a bunch of decorations in there. All that fun stuff. Now, I don't remember what the exact space requirements with the lions are. So one of the reasons I'm trying to get happiness up early as well, because I want zoo benefactors. We need to get happiness up anyway. If I get it up early, then that's ka-ching, tons of money. Let's put in a bit of dirt right there for now. Okay. Now for the lions. A male, 2 females. Nice little lion rock up here. We're going to get these guys to at least 99% suitability, so we get the, what is it, 5K, 15K, something like that. Not enough sand, not enough dirt, not enough fresh water. Okay, I remember there was fresh water. We're going to do this unpaused. Okay, that's too much. Damn it. Wrong back indicator. Okay. Now, not enough sand. Not enough dirt. That's too much. Okay, more rocks. And then we need some trees. They're complaining about toys, which is a little odd. Because they do have a toy. There we go. We got our 15K for having a 99% suitable exhibit. Oops. That is good enough. Let's not mess with that anymore. All right. Lion exhibit. Everyone's happy. Let's go ahead and wait till the white Bengal tiger, and we'll put that right beside it. Boom, there we go. Okay, the white Bengal tiger. I do not remember how much space these bastards need. I think it was 70 for a pair. But it doesn't hurt to check. White Bengal tiger. 35,000 animal. Yep, I was right. Okay, so we will quite literally make exactly the same exhibit we made right there. Except, obviously, with different terrain. But the same size. An 80 tile exhibit. So it'll be a little bit larger than we technically need. But we can afford that. And it won't be much larger. Only 10 tiles, so one slice. Let's go ahead and pop a little thing there in the back. Then let's add the viewing area. Okay. I should put crossovers in here somewhere. I'm going to put one right here at the junction between where this exhibit and the next exhibit is going to be. And then we'll do a similar one at the next exhibit junction. Okay. Then let's go ahead and dump a whole bunch of mangrove trees. Along the back wall here. This is definitely not going to be enough of them. Because these bastards like a lot of trees. But it'll be a good start. And then let's dump the tigers in. And we'll start adjusting their terrain to get it right. Okay. One female, one male. They're already good enough suitability, but we need better than that if we want them to breed. All right, too much grass, not enough rainforest, not enough fresh water. All right. So let's start with the rainforest. Boom. Boom. Not enough rainforest, not enough fresh water. Okay, from here we should probably go one tile at a time. Okay, that's one tile too many. Not enough dirt. Well, that's too much. Not enough rainforest, too much grass. Okay. Happier with more rocks. That's too much rock. They're already at 97% suitability. We'll add a couple mangroves out here in the middle to add a little bit more visual interest to the exhibit. And that gets 100%. All right. Hurry up and breed so I get the 10K for that, having that happen, you little bastards. Now, who else do we need? Lowland gorilla we don't care about. But it has to be researched to unlock the next one, so. Black leopard I don't think we care about either. Let's just check real quick. Oh no, we do need black leopard. Oh wait, leopards need that stupid cat toy shit, don't they? Okay, we have baby lions. That should help suck in people. Let's lower the entry cost to $18.75. That should suck a lot of people in. Okay, we might as well get a filler exhibit going. We can just do a Bengal tiger right next to the white Bengal tiger. Sure, why not? It's exactly the same exhibit. Like, exactly. And it is reasonably attractive. Oops. Okay. There's where the crossover goes. How much does that fountain actually cost? Only 500. Okay, let's put that in right now. Get a little bit of improvement to the zoo's appearance. No. Should be all of that. I think that was all of that as well. There's black leopard. Let's finish this exhibit up real quick, and then we will add a black leopard exhibit beside it. Okay, that was grass. Okay, that should be exactly the same terrain. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and throw the animals in. Male, female, 89% suitability, needs more foliage, not enough grass, too much gravel. Oh, oops. Yeah, there's a bit of gravel in the front corner there. Okay, that'll skyrocket their suitability. Needs more foliage. Yeah, we don't need to build exactly the same exhibit. Just, you know, roughly the same. Okay, these guys are like 100%, right? Yep. Why are these guys only 95? Wait. That rock was too much, wasn't it? Yep. Okay. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Okay, normal Bengal tigers slightly harder to keep happy than white ones, apparently. Alright, well that's fine. They're good enough. Keeping the lions fed? Well, they've been fed some meat. I'm not going to ask where that meat came from. Supposedly it's not guests. But also I will notice it didn't cost me anything, so you never know. Alright, I believe the leopards were also 35 tiles each. So let's go ahead and build them another 80 tile exhibit. Just to keep with the theme we've gotten running. There, the normal Bengal tiger is add baby Bengal tiger. Let's flatten that. Okay. Black leopard. Female and male. Let's go ahead and hire another zookeeper. Where's that first damn zookeeper? Well, we can find him this way. We have 2 zookeeper 1s. That's fine. Tried playing Jurassic Park Operation Genesis the other day, but the resolution on it is so wonky to make it work. Yeah, I don't think I've ever... Well, I definitely never played that game. I don't think I've ever even heard of it. Alright. Too much grass, not enough rainforest. Too much gravel. Well, it's kind of unsurprising there's too much gravel. There shouldn't be any gravel at all. Too much grass, not enough rainforest. Not enough dirt. Not enough rainforest. Too much grass. Not enough dirt. Too much grass. Not enough dirt. Not enough rainforest. Okay, so at this point we can start going tile by tile. Did they want exactly 1 tile of dirt? Too much rainforest, not enough dirt. Okay. Okay, that should be exactly... When you replace a tile and it gives a red face instead of just nothing happening. Basically, if you make a change, it gives a green happy face, that means it's just a good thing. If you make a change that doesn't do anything, that means that you probably did a good thing, but at the same time you did a bad thing when you're changing terrain. So if I was to replace, like say if I have too much grass and not enough dirt, and I replace some grass with some dirt, that'll be happy face every time. But if I have the right amount of rainforest, but not enough dirt, and I replace some rainforest, it'll just nothing will happen. Because you did a good thing, you made more dirt, but you also did a bad thing by making not enough rainforest. So you can tell using that what tile, by knowing what tiles they need more of and less of, more or less, you can tell exactly when you go tile by tile, when you have it perfect. But anyway, happier with more rocks, happier with more foliage. Okay, so these guys want Southeast Asia foliage, which means they'll probably be happy with some good old mangroves. They also want a toy, but unfortunately we don't have that researched yet, so they're just going to have to suck it up. Okay, we're at 96%. We can probably get the last couple percent by just dropping a rock or two in here. That gets us to 97. $99. Boom. Okay, the last bit will be easily gotten by putting a toy in later. Okay. Lovely. That's 2 of the endangered species we need to raise, plus 2 other exhibits. And we've only spent 3/4 of our money. Zoo Tycoon clone, but with dinosaurs. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Zoo Tycoon has dinosaurs too. Yeah. Anyway. Um. Okay. Guest happiness is currently 78. The Okapi we're middle of researching. Done in 9 days. We'll just wait 9 days and we'll build an exhibit for them too. And then we'll have to build a bunch more random ass exhibits later. So when this hits max, when this hits done, I'm going to turn off endangered animals and turn on animal houses. Because we're going to need those animal houses for buffing up happiness later. It's going to be fairly important, actually. So, a couple more days. One more day. Boom. Okay, we're not researching the giant panda. We don't give a shit about giant pandas. They are a waste of money. All right, now, I don't know anything about these other animals. They're not savanna. What are they? Must have scrolled right past them. Are they jungle? Yeah, they're jungle. Okay. Okay. Apparently Operation Genesis not considered abandonware. Yeah, it's kind of surprising how many games from that basic time period. Like this, I don't think you can find this for sale anywhere. Which is really weird. You would think they would want to, continue making money off it, but I guess not. All right, so there's nothing really interesting to say about these, I don't think. At least not that it's listed there. Okay, API, okay. Let's look these little bastards up. Okay, 20 tiles per animal. So we could get away with a 40 tile exhibit. Okay, reasonably good appetite. Intensely dislikes both crowds and captivity. Getting it to reproduce is quite a task. That's nice. It's a good idea to dedicate an zookeeper exclusively to their exhibit. Fun, fun. Well, that means we probably are just going to go ahead and engage in. Okay. Let's go ahead and put them right beside the leopard. Sure, why not? And we're going to do the exact same 80 tile exhibit we've done all along. There's no reason not to. I mean, other than the fact that it's more than double the size we need to actually do, or exactly double. But that's fine. Consistency in all things. Okay. You guys get a dedicated zookeeper. And the way we're going to ensure that you have a dedicated zookeeper is that we are going to put a brick wall in front of the door. Zookeeper not allowed out. All right. How much money do I have? 19,000. That better be enough to build an exhibit. Now, what kind of housing do you little bastards want? Probably lean-to. Yep. Too much grass, not enough rainforest floor. Okay. Okay. They might not want any grass at all. Too much grass, not enough dirt, not enough rainforest floor. Okay. This is getting closer to what we need then. Okay. Needs more foliage. They want rainforest bush. Okay. I think the rainforest bush is a small tree. Yes, it is. Scatter a few of these around. And then let's just start building a wall of them. I did get you guys in a zookeeper, didn't I? He escaped. The bastard escaped. Oh yeah, I forgot. They can walk through those fences. Okay, well, let's fix his wagon. Boom, he gets a rock in front of the door. I think they can't walk through those. Not that it really matters. All right, we're up to 91% already. $97. These guys are going to be a real pain to get to breed, so let's get it as close as possible to 100. 99. Okay, let's go ahead and add their rocks. Okay. 100% suitability. Alrighty then. We still have like 5k money to spend. That's probably not enough to build an exhibit. So we're going to go ahead and blow it all on decorations, probably. Starting with that insect house that we just unlocked. Okay. Do we have any other animal houses unlocked yet? I don't think so. Gift shop would probably be a good idea. Jam one of those in. Okay. Now, I think we're going to do this entire center path with... There's our 10k low money fund. We're going to do the entire middle with these flowers. And then the bit close to the exhibits we're going to do with the yellow ones. Okay. Let's do the yellow ones on this side too. Alright. Now, I want some zoo maps here by the entrance. Add observation areas to the observation areas. Okay, primate house. Just unlocked. We don't have the money because we blew it all on pretty stuff. Okay. Guest happiness is 78. We have one zoo benefactor. I'm going to go ahead and bump up funding to normal. See if we can get some more people in here. Because we do need to make money after all. I need to pay for more exhibits somehow. So if we look at our scenario objective, exhibit suitability of 70 for 12 exhibits. So we have what? 5? So we need to build 7 more exhibits. They don't need to be good ones. They just need to be exhibits with at least suitability of 70, which is trivial. Zoo rating of 70, that's trivial. We have that. It's almost impossible not to have that. Guest happiness 93. That is what we're trying for. Not necessarily right now, but we're trying not to get too low so it won't be too hard to get there later. Average animal happiness rating of 90. That's trivial. And then we just need 3 baby animals for 3 animal types we already have living in the zoo. And we don't need to possess those at the end. We only need to possess those at some point during the whole thing. So from now to the end of the scenario, the only thing we need to worry about is getting 7 more exhibits and getting guest happiness to 93. So ideally we'll get guest happiness somewhere in the 80s without hardly trying. And then we'll push it over the last little bit by cranking the, what do you call it, to the max. So we don't get more people. The admission price. And at some point, I'm not sure how many people we're going to want before we put a second restaurant in, but we also need to turn the corner here on our path, probably just like right past this, and then come back down the other side or something. Anyway, I'd like to put in a primate house, I'm just not sure where. Probably right here, honestly. We'll inset it a little bit from the road. And there's reptile house as well. Yeah. So now we just need to make money. And hopefully all the money we spent on prettying things up and other guest happiness enhancements will pay off. We have over a year to worry about all this shit. You guys really determined to get over here to the primate house, apparently. That's fine. You do you, buddy. Okay. So some of the exhibits we build probably are not going to be reachable by guests. honestly. I'm probably going to stamp them out closer to the end whenever I see how many exhibits we have and how many exhibits we need. I'll just stamp out some random ass single line 20 tile exhibits that are minimum size, minimum requirement. Just enough to say we have some. Yeah, I can stick it right here. Come on, there we go. And then we need room for an aviary somewhere. Good luck figuring out where that's going to go. Oh well. Guest happiness is currently 81, which is not bad. It will continue going up, particularly once we start getting the better quality shows in the various animal houses. You know, I might put the aviary over here, going this way. No, because that's like prime spot for another exhibit if I want to put one there. Buddy, you got a job right there. I think I need to remove this rock. He's being weird. Yeah. Okay. He has assigned specifically to this pen, right? Yes, he is. Okay, good. Yeah. If I can get guest happiness to like the mid to high 80s, I'll be happy. And then we'll be able to push it up to the last little bit just by cranking up what are we gonna call it? We only have 188 guests. Let's pop zoo marketing up a step. The thing is, the more people come in, the lower your average happiness is, because people arrive with relatively low happiness. Okay. Aviary. So we could put it facing this way. Actually, I kind of like that idea. Well, See, I want to connect this to that eventually. Put a circle all the way around. So I kind of need to have room in here to jam everything in. We're going to want as many attractions as we can all the way around this loop. But also, I don't really want to do that either. So there's something to be said for just sticking it right here. I would have to grass the water there, but that's not the end of the world. I could also stick it right here. Yeah, let's do this actually. Okay, so we want to upgrade all of these to the most expensive and therefore most effective. Shows. Okay. Just grab some random guest thoughts. This guy's probably newly arrived. He doesn't have any thoughts. Happiness 72. This is why average happiness is such a pain in the ass. They all arrive with happiness in like the 60s and 70s. But anyway. So right now we're struggling a little bit on money. There's 5,000 monies right there. It arrived just at the beginning of the month, so most of it went straight into beginning of the month expenses. Let's go ahead and add exhibit signs. That should improve guest happiness slightly. Okay. All right. Guest happiness is down to 79. Not too shocking. Let's start thinking about more exhibits. What would be a good one to add on that's relatively cheap, but reasonably attractive? So we could put in a multi-exhibit. Something like hippo, flamingo, or zebra, gazelle, ostrich, wildebeest. I don't think there's anything in the scenario that would prevent that. They only need suitability of 70, which is pretty low. We could easily be able to get that, even for a multi-exhibit. But the problem is we need 12 exhibits, not 12 species. If it was 12 species, I'd be dropping a multi-savanna exhibit somewhere in here, like right now. Because that'd be huge. But it might be worth it anyway, purely because of how much it would add to the attractiveness. Is this the second round of baby lions? I think it is. I think we have too many lions now. By like a lot. Yeah, we have way too many lions. Okay. We have female, female, male. Okay, so we can sell every other one. And they're all happy that we're selling them off because there's too many lions in there. Well, there was. Where's the zookeeper for this exhibit? There he is. Get your ass in here and clean that shit up. Okay. Bengal tigers. There's too many of you in here, isn't there? Male, female, male, male. Okay. You get sold. Female, male, male. Okay. And you get sold. Sadly, none of the endangered species have seen fit to bless me with a giant wad of cash. But it is early days yet. No. I think what we're going to do is we're going to dump 7 20 by 20 or 20 tile lion exhibits in a corner somewhere. Because they're really easy to get to high suitability. And I don't care to bother trying to... Oh, that's right, we got another... There we go. Raises the upkeep cost substantially, but it's well worth it. Plus 10 happiness for every adult and plus 15 for every kid. Okay, why is your happiness so low? It must have been absolutely in the dumpster when you arrived. now. His happiness has fallen down to 66 already. Listen here, you little shit. Where are you going anyway? Hopefully he's going to go look at some animals or something, because he really needs to get his happiness up. How much is the restaurant making per month? Not that much, really. Nocturnal house. Oh, birth of an endangered animal, 10,000 monies. Okay. We unlocked a new animal house. Apparently it has bats. Okay, that's cool. Where do I put this, though? I think I'm going to spend a little bit of money on grass over there. Fill that water in. And then we'll stick it like right here. Okay. We should probably hire some tour guides, because they will increase happiness and they're not that expensive. Guest happiness is right now 77, which is atrocious. Just gotta assign the tour guides to do all 5 exhibits in order. Okay. That person's got 99 happiness. We are making money, so that's good. Now, a big chunk of that, of course, was from having endangered species finally reproduce. Which, of course, was the white Bengal tiger, which is, I think, the easiest one out of the group. These guys are going to be the real bastards. Keep your ass in that exhibit. Okay, all programs completed. Wait, there isn't a third program for the insect house? Okay, guess not. Alright. Now. I'll probably end up putting another exhibit over here later. But for now, let's start designing cheap trash exhibits. Okay. So technically we only need 20 tiles per lion. However, that is an extremely small exhibit. And also, we can do much better than that by making 40 tile exhibits and having pairs of lions. And then we can have baby lions that we can sell to make money. Yep, baby black leopard. That's pretty good. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I am a big fan of making money. So we're going to go ahead and lay out 7 of these dinky little 40 tile line exhibits. And then I'm going to buy a pair of lions for each. So we're not just running an endangered species zoo. We're running a lion breeding operation. Okay, I'm not sure why it claims this is inaccessible to zoo staff. Okay. And we'll flatten all of this. Oops. Okay, good enough for who it's for. Alright. Now, buying the savanna grass for the bottom of all of these is going to be expensive, to say the least. And we'll probably want like 2 or 3 zookeepers dedicated to this area. I am going to install some stuff to make sure guests don't go wandering over there to check out the lion breeding area. No guests are allowed to wander off the beaten track. Alright, let's see roughly how much this is going to cost. Well, that's almost 10,000 right there. We're going to need a little bit of water and a little bit of dirt in each of these. So basically we're going to build one and get it correct, and then we're going to duplicate it exactly to all the rest of them. Also, guest happiness is currently 75, which is atrocious. I think it's time for a second restaurant, maybe? We don't even have 300 guests quite. Why is your happiness only 58? You've just arrived and you head straight to the reptile house. Okay. And I believe they're inside the reptile house right now. Or the insect house. One or the other. I should have given them like plus 12 happiness. I don't know. Whatever. Let's put it in a second. Second restaurant. Now we're out of money. Okay, let's not put in a second restaurant then. How much money are we actually making? The private donation amount doesn't matter. That was from... Okay, we're making about 6,000 from concessions. 2,500 or so from admissions. So we're making probably about 9,000 a month. And we're spending like 6,000 maybe. So it's not a huge profit right now. If we can get more private donations though, that'll help a ton. So I'd like another 10k from these bastards breeding, and then that would help a lot. This guy's got 46 happiness. Why? Can't see White Bengal Tiger 3. It's too crowded. Are the stupid tour guides actually having a bad effect on... Because they're making the guests bunch up, and I wonder if that's creating a problem. Alright, anyway. We'll worry about that later. Now, let's use the Rainforest restaurant. It is completely identical to the normal restaurant, just with different theming. Where's the actual entrance to this thing? Well, I guess we'll do that, because I'm not sure which one of those two tiles is the entrance. Apparently it's the bottom one here. Oh well. Get a happy thought because, wow, the Rainforest restaurant looks cool. That's nice. I wish you could sort people by happiness. Instead of just spot checking the list. Okay, like, why is your happiness only 64? You arrived recently. You haven't really gone anywhere. Alright. Alright. Now, since I'm only planning to put pairs of lions in these, we will use the small shelter, which has capacity of 2. Oops. There we go. Hello, Dread. Welcome here. Your brother's AC went out and you need to repair it. Have you ever heard my opinions on AC? Contactor welded shut. Well, I suppose that's easier to replace than some of the other things that could have gone wrong. Although generally when something goes wrong, it doesn't really help to be told that it could have been worse. Happiness 76. It's like, you really need to have, there's really 2 ways to get your average happiness up. You can have all the happiness adding stuff in the world in your zoo, but there's really only two ways to get average happiness high. Number one, have very few people arriving in your zoo while you slowly bake everyone who's in there already in happiness. And two, have just absolutely gigantic numbers of people in the zoo. And that way, when a few people start arriving who aren't terribly happy, it doesn't affect anything. Okay, so these little shits are nice and happy. That's good. All right. Too much grass, not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt, not enough sand, not enough fresh water. Would like to have a toy. Okay, so let's give them a lion rock. And then okay. 2 units of water. 2 units of sand. 4 of dirt. And that gets us 70 suitability already. Okay. 2 units of water. Two units of sand. We need to hire a zookeeper for out here. Last I have to sell that lion. And then ideally I'd like to buy another second lion to go in there. And then add a few trees or something to get its suitability over 70. Because having suitability too low is a bad thing. Not only because it doesn't necessarily make your animals incredibly happy. I mean, that lion will be perfectly happy with a 70% suitability. But there's various things that can make suitability go down for a short period. And so it's not reliable to have low suitability. And then 4 of dirt. And then the rest of this area gets filled up with savanna grass. That'll be 1,800 total. Okay. And this will be the rest of the exhibits the zoo needs to meet the scenario conditions. Yes, we are choosing the scenario. Why do you ask? We just need to worry about guest happiness. Which is going to be a pretty big worry. But I think we can manage it. I was really hoping we would get more zoo benefactors by going for happiness early, but nice chicken coops. They're lion coops, it's different. Okay. Now, if I can add a second lion to this, and maybe a couple of trees, and then we'll be done. And we just need to do it 6 more times to fill the rest of them in. But the biggest expense is always putting the savanna grass in. Yeah, so that gets a 76% suitability. It's not entirely happy. It would like more foliage. It would like more lion. Which is why generally I build 3 lion exhibits instead of 2 lion exhibits. But, like, it can suck it. It'll have 1 fellow lion and be happy. So like I don't need to get more than 70 suitability. So anything we get beyond that is purely nice to haves. And if we go check our scenario information, 70 for 12 exhibits, we'll have that soon once we buy enough lions. Average guest happiness of 93, screw me. 1 baby okapi, there's nothing we can do about that right now except wait. Guest happiness is the only thing we really have to worry about going forward. As I put the finishing touches on these. And it's not even quite the end of the first year, so we have like 6 months to go. How many people do we have in this damn place? 300, okay. Okay. Worst case, if we get like close but not quite there yet, I will go through my guests individually at that point and try to feed any of them to the tigers that are unhappy. Hopefully that's not required, because it's definitely not a reliable way to deal with them. Okay. Come on, I need some money. We need to finish these exhibits. We will get another 10k when these bastards finally breed. Which will help a ton, actually. Because that'll definitely get us all these lions happied out. I'm going to give each of you a rock. 83 suitability. Okay, that's plenty. can each have a rock and 2 trees. And you'll be happy. And if you aren't happy, well, you can talk to the official complaint department, except I forgot to build one. Hopefully, with reasonably high suitability, we'll end up with a ton of saleable lions. So really these exhibits here might demonstrate just how trivial it is to meet requirements for exhibits. It's almost the end of November, we might as well just wait. Average happiness is 78, which is about what you would get without any of this decoration or anything. Let's try to figure out why happiness is low. Can't see black leopard, it's too crowded. Alright, I need to get rid of those damn tour guides. I thought they would help. They're doing quite the opposite. Actually, here, screw it. Let's get 2 more tour guides. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe they'll spread the guests out a little bit. Okay, are all of our tour guides bunched up or something? They are. Well, let's spread them around a little bit. Hopefully that way it'll take them a little bit before they all end up at the same places again. And that'll make the guests spread out a little. Hopefully. So we don't have them all walking in one giant slug. Hopefully that'll raise happiness. They do greatly increase our end of month fund cost, though. There he is. I think he's right here too. That guy has 100 happiness. Too bad it wasn't like that for everybody. Yeah, this restaurant's not making much money. That's fine. It's making a profit. As long as it's making more than 0, that's all we really care about. And we're spending so much money a month on these animal houses. Okay. Could you stupid little bastards hurry up and make a baby animal? Here. Stay in the damn exhibit with them, because you make them happier when you're in there. And the happier they are, the more likely you are to have baby animals. Yeah, okay, no, they just completely ignore these. Which is obnoxious. Stay in the pen. There, how do you like that? Have to keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't start slacking off. Alright, back to adding trees to lion pens. Okay, I do believe the time has come to add more lions to lion pens. There we go. Lion happiness remains high. Exhibit suitability remains acceptable. We just need to spend 1,400 to fill more of these pens up and we'll be good. 1,400 pop. Buy a pair of lions. Unless we have baby lions, in which case we can start moving them around to fill pens in for cheaper. Let's move all of these so that they're not blocked by the water or anything. Oh, and we should add a lion rock for these bastards. Before I forget. Alright. Produce babies. AK money. 6 months left to complete the scenario. Could you bastards please? If I fail this stupid scenario because you couldn't have a kid, I am going to be infuriated with you. Also, it does look like the zookeeper can indeed not do anything if he can't get out of the exhibit. Okay. Not without being picked up and replaced anyway. Feed the damn animals. No, they have food. They just didn't go eat. Okay. Alright, well, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I researched animal fertility. At this point, there's nothing left to do except wait. And buy lions to fill the rest of these pens as I'm able. I should probably crank the zoo entry fee up to max. I think I'm going to do that when I have like 5 months left, maybe 4 months. I don't want to cut it too close because we do need a ton of happiness. But I want to get as many people in as I can before I crank it up, because otherwise we won't have a good large body of guests. Because as soon as we crank it up, we're still going to, guests will still keep leaving, but more or less guests will be arriving. And so our average happiness should go up. But also the number of total guests will slowly go down. And that'll mean every new guest that does arrive anyway will be that much larger of a impact on our average. So we need to have enough guests that it's not a huge impact on our average. But yet why are tour guide 2 and 4 walking close to each other again? Could you not? Like, spread out a little, buddy. Oh, we gotta hire a maintenance worker. Nope. Baby lions. A male. And another male. Then we'll hire another zookeeper to deal with these last 3 pens. Nope. More baby lions. Another male. Another male. Okay, well technically that's a full complement of lion pens filled. If we check the scenario objectives, we have enough exhibits. We need a baby okapi, and we need have guest happiness in 93. If I fail this stupid scenario because these bastards didn't breed, I am going to be so annoyed. I think I already said that, but it bears repeating. Because there's nothing you can do about it except keep them happy and hope. Well, I guess technically I could build a second exhibit. Yeah. I am going to go ahead and save the game here, I think. Oh, we have way too many black leopards. Male, female. Okay, we can sell this pair then. All right. Gonna go ahead and turn the zoo marketing off. You know, I think the tour guides are a mistake. I'm gonna fire them. Like, technically, they should make guests happier, but they just really do not seem to be working. Trying to replace them with AI? Well, that's the problem. They are AI. Not very good ones, apparently. They're probably anthropic models. So they cost like 100 times what they should. And aren't really any better than the competition. Oh well. Yeah, at the end of the month, we're going to crank, what do y'all call it? I think it's probably too late to get another exhibit full of these bastards. I mean, technically not. But also, it's not a particularly cheap exhibit to build. And it's not like I have a huge amount of money. And when I start cranking up admissions, our income's going to go through the floor. Not really that badly, but it's certainly not going to improve. Okay. Yeah. Where's that damn maintenance worker? Also, can you, Mr. Zookeeper, stop wandering around all over creation and stay in here with the damn Octopi in order to keep their happiness up? Like, their happiness isn't low, but also as soon as he leaves the enclosure, it drops by 6 points. Yeah. Alright, happiness is 75. Let's go ahead and crank this up to 100. Alright. Oh, I check on these little shits who are leaving. That one's not leaving. This one probably is, though. It's been in the park for a while. 91 happiness. Why is he only at 91 happiness? Alright, anyway. Get the maintenance worker to fix some of those fences. Yeah. Okay, so this guy just came out of the insect house. Oh, he's up to 95 happiness. Okay, that's good. Insect house 1 is too crowded. Well, that's your opinion. Why is your happiness so low? You've been in the park for a while. We're gonna lose this stupid scenario to those bastards not reproducing, I guarantee it. Well, I think we have enough money. We can go ahead and put in another exhibit for them. Now, that'll get us started. Too much grass, not enough dirt, not enough rainforest. Okay. More foliage. Didn't I just place a zookeeper in here? Yes. Congratulations, you're assigned to these little scumbags. Okay. We need to get their happiness as high as possible, as fast as possible, and then cross our fingers and hope RNG is on our side. It's 92 suitability. I would obviously like cap higher than that, but we'll take what we can get. With the money I have available. Okay, please stay in the damn exhibit so that they're happier. Okay. I really don't like these mouse cursors they have. Okay, both are at max happiness now. We probably don't need to do anything further to that exhibit, honestly. Except cross our fingers and hope. Guest happiness is 78, so we're just going up very slowly. I guess this period just where I could check them. We're just not getting very good guest happiness, and it's weird. I've not really done anything different from the one time where I had like 95 happiness. So I'm not sure what's going on here. All right. I did turn monthly funding off. Yes, I did. Okay, this person here is leaving their 70 happiness. Like, somebody who's leaving the zoo should not be at 70 happiness. They should be way higher than that. It's like, why are we not... Okay, there is one big difference between this zoo and that other zoo that I had high happiness at, and that was that I did have a multiple animal savanna exhibit right smack dab in the center of the whole thing. And that really seemed to juice up the happiness on the guests. So it might be that I just kind of need to do something like that, even though it's not conducive to the scenario objective. Like, it might just straight up be that our exhibits are not attractive enough. So if we don't make it this time... Well, it really doesn't matter what our guest happiness is if these assholes never breed. But if we don't manage to make it this time, the next approach is we will not do a Bengal tiger exhibit. That's a nice exhibit and all, but also it's a waste of money. We will do a large multi-animal savanna exhibit. We will do lions, of course, because lions are just cheap, high suitability. I might cram exhibits in the corner somewhere that I can dump extras in. Like, I might build some of these lion exhibits but not put anything in them and move lions there instead of selling lions. Because these are relatively cheap. Although, obviously, keeping these stupid fences repaired is a full-time job. Guest happiness is still 78. Like, we don't need 90 guest happiness. We need 93. Oh, there we go. Whew, thank goodness. Okay, now we need to just get anything we can do to get guest happiness up. The problem is I don't know of anything I can do beyond what I'm doing already. Let's throw in some random ass torches. Oh, come on, get your ass out of the way so I can build this thing. Okay. Hello, Treebeard. The zoo is going not very great, honestly. Guest happiness is in the 70s and refuses to go up. Which is a bit of a problem. A whole bunch of guests are leaving now. That one had 91 happiness. Wait, he's not leaving. Well, then why did he walk over to the entrance? Whatever. Should weld the contractor. I don't think that'll solve the problem, survey. I don't think that will solve anyone's problem. Oh, the okapis that we finally got to breed were the new exhibit I just built. The exhibit I've had in this entire damn time still has not managed to produce. Annoying little bastards. Which means there's a pretty solid chance that if I hadn't built that second exhibit, we would still be waiting and hoping it doesn't fail the scenario. Okay. Guest happiness is 79, which is not good. But it's slightly better than it was, at least. More guests are leaving. I wish I could sort guests by happiness. Like that one's 79. That one's 68. This guy's 44. Like, how in the hell do we have a guest who's only 44 happiness? They've been here, quote, a long time, end quote. Here, you know what? You can't get much more unhappy than you are already. Here, do you think we can feed him to a lion? Or the lion's too well fed for that? I think the lions are too well fed for that. Okay, now please exit the zoo. They're not going to leave. Get him, lion, get him. Okay, fine. Go feed a tiger then. Nope, tigers aren't interested. I'm leaving the zoo. Animals are running free, finally. Get out of here. Boom. That didn't change guest happiness hardly at all. Not that I really expected it to, but it was worth a try. But the real question is why there was a guest who was still in the zoo who had like 40-some happiness. Like, that guest has 93. Like, nobody even has 93 happiness, hardly. Much less higher than that. Okay, there's a guy who has 100 happiness. What is your secret, dude, and why are you so happy? And why isn't everyone else happy? Like, the last time I had a thing that I needed high happiness for, I didn't have a problem. I just had, like, 95 or something happiness the whole damn time. Okay, we're going to try something. We have 1 month to finish this scenario. How many guests do we have in the zoo? We have 269 guests in the zoo. So this is going to suck. But every single person whose happiness is in the 80s or lower. Oops. Okay, like you're 78 happiness. You're leaving this zoo. I'm locking you over there. There's nothing for you to see. You can't enter the zoo proper. Get out. $88, not good enough. Get out of here. 91, you can stay for now. 97, you can definitely stay. 81, nope. Get out. 81, nope. Get out. $65, hell no, get out of here. 80, no, get out. 50, no, leave. 85, you can stay, I suppose. 68, no, what the hell are you even doing here? Get out of here. 91, you can stay, I suppose. 87, you can stay, I guess. 69, hell no, get out. Alright, let's see, did that work? They're penned in, they can't go to the rest of the zoo. Okay, this guy wants to leave. This guy wants to leave. This guy wants to leave. I don't think that's going to work, because I don't think they're... Okay, this guy wants to leave. Yeah, there's no way we're making 93 happiness. Not in the amount of time we have left. Also, this isn't working. They're not leaving. They're just wandering around inside that little area. Yeah. Well, that's super annoying. Also, let's move this little shit to this pen. That'll make that pen more attractive, and that's the one the guests can see. That might help a little tiny bit. I suppose I could go through looking for particularly unhappy guests. Like this guy's at 57. Get him tigers. Leaving the zoo. Animals are running free. Yeah, you better believe you're leaving the zoo. You just said you were leaving the zoo. Well, I guess you need another dose of it. Here, fine. Enjoy the lion exhibit. Yeah, the lions really aren't interested in eating guests. And that guest just, despite the fact they say I'm leaving the zoo, they don't. Oh wait, there they go, finally. Not that it helps. Guest happiness is still 78. Damn it. I really hate the guest happiness ones because they're always such obnoxious. Oh well. Like that guy's 99. Why is this guy only 71? Yeah. I guess happiness is still slowly going up, but it's going up so slowly that it's not going to matter. The thing is, we've had animal houses with their max level shows for every single one of them. For every single one of those. Also, I don't know who else noticed, but our original Okapi pen never did produce a baby. The only reason that's checked off instead of being another failed objective is that I built that second pen on the off chance that it might help. And we got extremely lucky and got a baby Okapi out of it right away. So that was also kind of infuriating. Because we did not build that, like that was built very early in the scenario. And it spent the entire time with a dedicated zookeeper who I kept moving in all the time to try to keep their happiness at max. Anyway, I hate guest happiness. But yeah, I think next time we will what do I call it? Also, the scenario fail text is acting like the hard part is getting the bastards to reproduce. No, the hard part is the average guest happiness. But anyway, I think I need to just focus on making some extremely high attractiveness exhibits. Because those apparently seem to boost the happiness higher. And then we're definitely going to do, well, maybe not definitely, but we'll probably do a lion zoo in a corner somewhere kind of thing to well, the other thing I could try doing is building a human zoo. That is a little loop of road that is jam packed with a small number of high impact attractions. And a few relatively high impact decoratives. And then when we start getting closer to the end, I can grab a bunch of people and stuff them in there. Build it like around the entrance so we can confine everyone to a smaller area so they don't have as far to walk to anywhere. I don't know how well that'll work though. Yeah. Yeah, like this one's completely trivial outside of money. Beach Resort is DLC. Island Zoo, once again, guest happiness rating a 93. Not sure why they picked 93, but there we go. Savannah Zoo, guest happiness 93. So I'm definitely going to have to figure out some more stuff about keeping animal or keeping guest happiness high. Yeah, if we look at the good old strategy guide, let's see what it says about keeping guests happy. Okay. Aesthetic counts. So you want your zoo to look good, which I know. Our zoo definitely should have had a high beauty score, or reasonably high. Happy animals, which we had all of our animals, max cap, super happy. You need to fulfill their needs, which we did. All right, is there a section that gives any more details on that? Building effect on guest happiness might be useful. Um, the problem is this doesn't really go into much detail on most things. The only reason I even keep this thing around is because it gives the details for the animal requirements, which are sometimes very useful. But I was hoping I'd glean something more out of this than what it apparently is willing to give me. Let's look at. Okay, aesthetic values. Happiness boost from individual buildings. Happiness chance. I'm going to guess it's a percent chance that it will affect them. Most of these are pretty low. Oh, wait, no, it's change. That looks like a C to me with the font, but no, it's a G. Okay. So, like, ice cream stand is 30, but then you have to deal with trash. Japanese garden's 30, so that's extremely worth for adults. And the aesthetic value, just applies an overall zoo beauty. Elephant ride is negative aesthetic with adults. But has a pretty significant boost to child happiness. I guess if you just put a little bit of stuff around it to pretty it up. Like restaurants actually don't do anything at all for children, but they're plus 15 for adults. Okay. Like petting zoo is 10 and 15. That probably would have been worth building actually, because that's like a full up animal house, but cheaper. Yeah. Really, none of these are terribly surprising. Gift shop's pretty well worth building, which I already knew, which is why I built some. None of this is terribly surprising, unfortunately. I was hoping there would be something massive that I was missing, but there isn't. Like, I guess the family restroom is a pretty big one, but also the restaurant takes care of that, and it's just easier not to have to build them everywhere. So, one thing that is fairly obvious from this list is that the restaurant is a lot less of a boost than everything else. But also it is so much easier and you don't have to deal with trash. Also, if you look at paths, dirt paths are +2, brick paths +6. It's probably worth building brick path. The flower beds are actually different stats. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you'd be a lot better off if you built alternating flower bed 1 and 2. And then flower bed 3 is only popular with kids. Whereas if you build alternating flower bed 1 and 2 everywhere, then you'll have an effective +6 for everyone. Okay. The duck pond is pretty massive value, but also it's a massive structure. The hedge is +5 for everyone. So that's slightly worse than the flower beds. Okay. Interesting. And then trash and trash cans are a giant minus, which is one reason why I try to avoid what do I call it? Oh, the observation areas are different too. Okay, we had the concrete observation areas built everywhere. They are 8 for men and 4 for women. Are there any that are better? No. Quite the opposite, actually. And then the rock observation area is strictly better for kids, but strictly worse for adults. So probably building rock observation areas would be better because it's easier to keep adults happier in some ways. Maybe not. I don't know. The concrete observation area is a good choice, though. All right. The metal one, the stick one, the wood one, the great one, none of those are great. They're all kind of bad. And I should really be looking at um is there a animal list somewhere that gives you outside of the individual one anyway? That gives you animal attractiveness? It doesn't look like it. Maybe I should feed this PDF to an LLM and see if I can make a more useful table of all the information about every animal and not just some of it. Because I would like to know the attractiveness for animals. Because that'll, if you can get attractiveness, tiles per animal, number of animals required per an exhibit, you could put those 3 bits of information together and make a attractiveness score that would tell you, maybe also factor in the minimum cost. That would give you an attractiveness per tile and an attractiveness per dollar per animal. And that would give you a much better idea of what animals are good to pick. outside of the obvious anyway. And then there's some kind of multiplier in effect for multi-animal exhibits. It's like ostrich is 5 attractiveness for an adult, which is pathetic. But also, if you tie them together with a few other animals, they're actually pretty baller. Like the gazelle, which is also 5 attractiveness. Nobody wants to go see the gazelles or the zebras for that matter. But if you tie them all together, they're pretty insane. Yeah. Apparently, elephants are 50 attractiveness. That's a lot. Yeah, gazelles are 5, wildebeest are 5. Everything that can go into the big 4-animal savanna exhibit is 5 attractiveness. But altogether, it's an insanely attractive exhibit. Leopards are 40 attractiveness. Okay. There would be a pretty good one. Flamingos are 10, and then add hippos into that, which hippos are probably 5, if I had to guess. No, hippos are 50. Really? Okay. So hippo flamingo is probably way better than I thought it was. Hmm. That might be well worth building then, because like 35 tiles per animal for hippo. And then how much do flamingos add to that? 15? So you do a 70. You could add a pair of flamingos and a pair of hippos for 100 tiles. And then tack a few more tiles onto that for even more flamingos. Hmm. Okay. What are the actual rules? Does it say somewhere what the actual rules are for multi-animal exhibits? Um, it talks about it somewhere. Hmm. An exhibit with multiple animal species increase guest happiness by 5 while seeing a favorite animal provides boost of 30. Oh, really? Okay, I guess this is actually hugely important information. A guest viewing an exhibit with a very happy rating, one of the average animal happiness score of over 81, which is trivial to reach, receives a plus 10 happiness boost. Baby animals provide another plus 10 boost. Okay. So right there is plus 20 just for looking at an exhibit. Exhibit with multiple animal species increased happiness by 5. So that gets to 25. Okay. Sick ones decrease by 20. You gotta make sure your animals aren't sick. Okay, so that does mean multi exhibits aren't quite as powerful as I thought they would be, except they'd be more likely to have baby animals in a large exhibit with lots of animals in it, which would give that plus 10 boost. So baby animals are actually hugely important to getting maximum happiness out of an exhibit. Okay, actually, This section right here has a ton of information about happiness. Okay. Prices you charge can have effect ranging from plus 15 increase to a minus 25. Okay, so dropping prices is probably worth it near the end of the scenario. Okay. Plus 10 boost to guest happiness for having a certain amount of beauty. Too much trash is a minus. Okay. And that's all they mentioned then. All right. Well, that's useful information to know. Yeah. I think we need to focus more on more attractive animal exhibits. And at least a little bit. Probably hippo flamingo. Although that's pretty large and might end up being expensive. But I guess any multi-animal exhibit's can be pretty large. Yeah. Anyway, it is 10:16. So we're not going to get anything serious done on starting another scenario at this point. So I think we'll just call it a little early today. We've been ending late recently. So I guess today we can end a little early. Hopefully next week we can try that again, and hopefully we'll have less happiness problems. I will definitely need to figure out also better ways to make money, because we need money rolling in faster than what it has been. And I'm not entirely sure what to do about it. Probably picking better starting exhibits might help. Like lions are a really good first exhibit because they're super easy to get to 99 for the, what is it, 15K they give you. And then they almost immediately produce baby lions, which is another massive boost. But I need to find some better options for a second and third starting exhibit. Like for this scenario, we obviously have to go with the endangered species, but the ones after that, maybe hippo flamingo is the answer. Maybe it isn't. We'll have to experiment. But anyway, that'll be for next week. Tomorrow is Friday. So I do believe there'll be some EDF. Dredd did say he might be late. So hopefully he doesn't electrocute himself. And hopefully we can get started Not too much later than normal. Yeah. And Saturday and Sunday, well, definitely for Saturday, we're going to be doing some Red Solstice 1. And assuming we don't manage to finish the game, we'll do some of that on Sunday as well. If we do manage to finish the game, then I need to think about it. Possibly Phantom Brigade. Possibly we'll go straight into Red Solstice too. We'll see. Monday, of course, will be some good old Crab Champions. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I have not yet decided. We need to pick a new game. Because I finished Opus Magnum. And now we need something else. So I'll have to think about that too. There's a variety of options available. And then, of course, next Thursday, we'll be back trying to keep guest happiness up. But anyway. Let's see. Is anyone doing anything tonight? Looks like Abby's playing Fallout 4. Okay, sure, why not? Let's raid Abby. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for some EDF shenaniganry. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.